Hey, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy King Penny, man. Hey, we're here at Longmont Public Media, man. Hey, I'm sitting down with a couple of special dudes, man. I got one Ghul Performance, Alex, and then got Zadok, the GM at Anytime Fitness that I work out at. We're sitting down right now and discussing my new workout plan, trying to go to the next level. And part of that, I've kind of plateaued out on training myself. And I've been training myself for a while. I started off a long time ago. I don't think I told you guys, like, with the coach, like powerlifting. Well, not necessarily a coach, but a guy helping me. And you know what I mean? Like, he showed me not only just how to lift, but how to flip that switch. Like, you know what I mean? And that was like the biggest, like, you know, he knew how to get that up out of me, like, you know, and that kind of got me into lifting on my own. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where I don't really need anybody now. Like, okay, boom, boom, boom. But at some point now, I switched to like bodybuilding. I moved kind of from powerlifting and strength training to an area that I'm not too familiar with, right? So at some point, right, you realize that, hey, look here, I could be getting more out of what I'm doing, or I'm kind of stalled out. I'm sure you guys have had clients that kind of, you know what I mean, that were already, you know what I mean, in a good place, but could have been in a better place had they spoken to you guys before, or, you know what I mean, like, and that's kind of where I'm at. And so that's why I wanted to bring you guys in and, you know what I mean, have a talk, and also too, plot on the next 5 to 6 months, man. Like, you know, like, we had a good show, you know, this week and stuff like that, and so now it's time to move forward, man. We're gonna go to nationals next year and go ahead and move forward. So, what do you got in mind, man? Come on, give it to me.
What do I got? You said you want to get bigger.
Yeah,
So
we need to get bigger for sure.
I got you a 16-week program for building some size.
16 weeks, huh?
Yeah, so every 4 weeks it changes.
Okay. Is it heavier lifting, or is it
The
more?
first phase is going to be like taking you from what you do now, where you have shorter rest periods.
Yeah.
So you'll do a little bit of that. We're going to transition you into learning how to turn up the intensity and take more rest and give your body more of that challenge that we're looking for as far as building tissue, which takes tension.
Yeah.
You know, when you're doing short rest period stuff, it's more of a metabolic adaptation you're creating. So we'll start with a little bit of that and transfer into more of a hypertrophy-based type off-season for you.
Okay. Yeah, that's also a weakness of mine too. Is like taking that time in between sets. We had talked last week, and I had mentioned to you, you know, like if I'm doing like incline bench or something, boom, I do a set of incline bench, and the sit-up machine is right there, or the sit-up, I'll just go ahead and do it. Like, you know what I mean, like a set of 25 or something in between, and you know what I mean. You were saying, you have to sit tight,
Right.
You know.
Yeah, so the first 4 weeks will be supersets that give you like a 15-second rest period between the first and second one, and then you'll take a full 90 seconds. So we'll start kind of integrating it that way slowly for you. But the idea being is you need to get to failure, but you also need to keep the muscle under tension. So what happens with a lot of people, especially with like a background like yours in powerlifting, you're talking about just getting weight from point A to point B. We need to teach you how to keep tension on that muscle group for the amount of time we're looking for to get the muscle to fail. So range of motion per muscle group is going to be much different than range of motion for a joint, right? Like you're not going to be using full ranges of motion like you would in a squat if you're trying to build a bicep. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's where we're going to refine everything that you're doing. Because like when I've watched you train before, you get very into that power lifter mentality of just moving weight. So we need to refine that to moving the correct amount of tension through the muscle for the amount of time we need to elicit the response we want. Because that's what bodybuilding is tension, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So about how long would you say these workouts are? Like as far as like just a general estimate of time in the gym.
I should have it in my head, but I'm trying to think. They're anywhere from at least like 50 minutes to 75 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. And like I said, that's another struggle of mine. I was talking to you about it. Like I'm in and out. Like I can come back a couple times, but mentally I struggle with being in the gym for long periods of time, right? And I think that, well, it's just general in life, period. I always like to keep moving. Like I'd be doing a whole bunch of stuff, but you know what I mean? Like, but just being in one spot for like, I see guys in the gym for like 3 hours, and in my mind, I don't understand how you can be engaged.
That's never recommended. So
Well,
anyone you see there for 3 hours, you should probably be like, hey, you might want to think about what you're doing.
Yeah,
That's probably about time to go home after like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because mentally I can't even like stay focused for like, just on this for that long, but I say 50 minutes to 75 minutes is a good amount of time. And that's without the cardio, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is it's got to be sustainable. So, like, what is the amount of time somebody actually wants to be there? Most people don't have that much time. Like, most people aren't dedicating their lives to lifting. So, what's the point of making this intricate thing that's 2 hours long, like you're talking about? Like, those are the people that just want to socialize, from my experience, that hang out for that long. Like, people that are busy and have shit to do, they're like, oh, can I get in and get out? That'd be cool. And that's where having like the nuance and the ability to make a program that's super efficient and effective makes it so people can get results much easier.
And all this will be running off your app, right?
Yeah, it's all programmed through there. So,
And how can people?
you can get it in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. So it's a free app. Comes with I think there's like 18 different programs. So there's 13 different strength and conditioning programs, and then there's 5 different mobility programs for different types of joint pain.
Okay.
And all that comes free.
Oh, so that's the stretching and stuff that I see you doing, like kind of.
Yeah, you can call it stretching.
Well, what do you call it?
End range strength training would be like a better example.
Okay.
So yeah, you kind of stretch, but
Because I can't bend like that. Like I see you do that one leg, like inside, be like, oh man, hey, look here, I can't bend like that.
Yeah. So what that stuff is training your end ranges like isometrically is where it starts, and then when you start to gain more control of end range, so like for you, it would be very beneficial for your posing, because then you would be able to contract more muscle tissue and get more of that, what you need to do, what it needs to do, if that makes sense. Like I'm sure there's probably
Kind
been
of
times where you
mind
do,
muscle connection type of.
yeah, to like a really deep level. Like, so the
Hmm.
way the muscles normally work is you're working in the mid-range of the muscle,
Yeah.
and that's where it's strongest, so that's where you get most of the force production. So if we put you in end ranges of motion and work on isometrics there, we can increase your strength at that end range. So like for my powerlifting, for example, it allows me to be able to grind against reps much easier because I'm used to doing it in positions where I'm super weak all the time. So anywhere where I'm actually getting help from the musculature and it's not my end range of motion, it makes it way easier to push through. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then like for posing, you would be able to control more of your body, which would give you a better way to pose and be able to contract the tissues you need to, right? Like everyone when they start, they're like, how do I contract my lats? Well, you have to learn how to do that, right? So that would just take it to a further level. Like I learned a lot of this stuff from a guy named John Quint, who's a neuromuscular therapist at Westside, and he would use it with all his bodybuilding athletes. That was a big thing. But yeah, it looks like stretching when you watch the videos. That is what it looks like. Like I'm just doing.
Well, I
a bunch
think
of
because you
yoga.
speed it up too, like a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
I'm sitting there for 5 minutes. I don't think anyone wants to
yeah,
watch that.
I think too, like so that kind of what you call it. But like, so when you used to compete, right?
Yeah.
Did you do all this stuff, or did you have like a trainer, or a coach, or did you do your?
Yeah, so I had a coach that did a lot of my stuff. So we'd go through, he'd have training programs, he'd do a lot of like partial rep stuff and different ranges of motion. That way you're able to put a little more tension into all the muscle fibers, get stuff activating in different ways. And then he'd have me coming in doing posing with him as well. And he was very, very, very old school. So it's like, nah, don't do this. I'm going to hit you. This is where you need to be moving. This is what muscle needs to go, that kind of stuff. So it's not quite as nuanced as what he's going through here. But it's more of like the traditional sense of like how coaches teach bodybuilding posing and stuff.
Oh, okay. And did you have like a high like bulk phase in your training like then, or were you mostly
Not
like,
really.
always
It was
kinda
like
prepping?
it was mostly just prepping out, and like a little bit of bulking, like maybe a month and a half, 2 month bulk, and then right back into cutting for a show. All the shows were just back to back, so really weren't doing too much, or weren't taking as much time in between. Just trying to make sure that we could get as much as we can out of each and every show.
Okay. And then you said 4,000 calories, right?
Yeah, yours varies between 3,800 and 3,900 depending on the phase.
And then,
I'm right there with you if it makes you feel any better.
No, but I'm saying though, how do you at that high rate, right? Can you still maintain a little bit of the body? Like
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I
because
mean?
you
As
only
far-
get like I think it's like 60 grams of fat. So you're literally just having to crush protein to build tissue, and then you're crushing carbohydrates to support your activities.
Oh, okay.
So most people have really high levels of fat and carbs. That's why they don't maintain a lean physique,
Yeah.
right? So if you're eating 4,000 calories and only 60 grams of that is fat, well, that's a lot of food you're having to consume, and your body will start to burn it, yeah.
Yeah. And then most of that fat is probably taken in at night.
I would say at least 12 hours away from your workout, ideally. Like that's going to be the most ideal time for your body to be able to absorb it and utilize it. But you can spread it out.
Okay.
So you could do a little bit before and after your workout if you want, or in those early meals where you're closer, then get heavier fats in the evening. Just kind of however you see fit. I first try to get people to see, well, like for you, we'll see for the first week how close you get to the macros, and we'll adjust if we need to. Because obviously, when you come with a macro plan, it's not like this is absolutely what you have to do. Like this is based on rough calculations, and everyone's body's different. So if we're going to take these calculations and go, okay, this should happen, and depending on how close it is to your lifestyle that you can fit all those things into, then we'll say, okay, this is where we can be and see where the changes happen, right? Like if you've never eaten 3,900 calories before, maybe you get to 3,500 and you're like, dude, I can't eat anymore. There's not enough time in the day. So like, all right, we'll start there. You know what I mean?
No, I mean I can eat it, but I think mentally, I don't know if I want to let my body go that. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
it's not going to be like a fat bulking, a dirty bulk.
oh, okay.
Like it doesn't. I don't prescribe stuff like that.
And also too, I want to talk to you, like, because I know that it's important, right? But I struggle sleeping
Probably because you're not getting enough food.
or staying. Well, no, I'm a super early riser.
Right.
Like no matter what time, like I usually go to bed around like between 7 and 9. But regardless of anything, I'm up at like 2:30 or 3, and the body's up. Like it's like the mind kind of, hey, lay down here for a minute. Body's like, let's go, right? So I get up and go, and then I go for like an hour or two, whatnot like that. But then I always like what I mean, like go home, shower, and go back to bed for like a couple hours. Is it important, you think, to get the whole 8 hours up front? Or can you split it up like 5 and 3 and still be, you know what I mean? Like and still grow, I guess.
In an ideal world, 8 hours would be
Just
the
a straight
scenario,
8
but
would be.
if you have to split it up, that's going to be better than not getting it.
Yeah,
Like I take naps all the time.
yeah.
It's going to help.
It's that senior citizen in me, I guess. That
Took one-
that just allows me
I
to.
did that this morning. I woke up, I went and did cardio and
Yeah.
mobility stuff, ate like 1,500 calories and went back to sleep.
1,500 this morning.
Yeah.
That's a powerlifting meal, all right.
Hey,
It was a bowl of cereal and some pancakes.
that's nuts. That's crazy. Yeah, I think I ate like 2 pieces of tilapia and 2 servings of cauliflower rice today.
But I would be very interested to see if you get that 3,900 calories in if you don't sleep longer, because oftentimes when people wake up, it's their body's like, hey, we need nutrients.
I never thought about that. You sleep 8 hours right now, or
Generally between like 6 and 7 is generally where I'm at.
You're a late night dude, though, huh?
Yeah, I have a hard time falling asleep.
Yeah.
But I do like magnesium and stuff like that to kind of help mitigate that a little bit.
Yeah.
That way I can start sleeping, and even if I do have a hard time falling asleep, I try to make sure I've got enough time, like plan out so that I've got enough time. I can get enough sleep and then wake up in the morning and still have time to get stuff done and eat and all that stuff before heading into work and not having to screw up my schedule or anything like that.
Okay. And then that's another thing that you suggested, right? The magnesium and the what was the other?
I like to mix magnesium, taurine, and L-theanine together.
Yeah.
It'll force your body to get into a parasympathetic state, which just means a state of recovery. So when you get into working out, you get into this sympathetic state or this fight or flight response, right? Especially when you're talking about going to that deeper place in powerlifting.
Yeah.
That's what you're tapping into. And the only way to get yourself out of it is to give yourself the nutrients that you need for that. So like an easy one is, once again, magnesium, L-theanine, and taurine, which are just 2 aminos and then that mineral. And that'll force your body into that state.
Okay.
So that's where recovery starts to happen. Because really what you're doing is you're going to the gym and creating a stimulus. And the game that we're playing is, how do I recover from what I just did in the gym? And most people don't see it that way. So then they just keep adding more to their plate and not recovering.
Yeah. So what other supplements, like just regular protein powder, creatine?
Creatine's always a good one. I use that on the days that I lift heavy. Like I don't take it every day, but I notice a difference.
You don't take it every day?
No,
That's interesting.
I'm a
So there's a
minimum
reason as
effective
to why?
dose. I just don't want to. I mean, I'm eating 250 grams of protein. If I really, really am low on creatine, I'm gonna be shocked. But like I take it as like a safety thing. Like I
Yeah.
noticed on the days that I took it, that I lifted, I would recover better from my lift. But I take 2 days in between intense lifts anyway, so I get a decent amount of recovery as it is.
Oh, okay. You on creatine or anything?
Yeah, so I do creatine daily.
Daily, yeah.
But that's just like a habit thing for me. If I don't do all of my supplements the same sequence, like daily, I'm gonna start losing out on that routine. And I'm gonna just not taking them all together.
Yeah. That supplement thing gets expensive, man.
That's the other
And
thing, right?
3,800, 4,000 calories sounds expensive.
I mean, I calculated my 3,900 calorie meal diet is going to cost me like $150 a week.
150 a week? Ooh.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Meat's pricey.
Well, I mean, like, well, I eat during like when I'm not prepping, I eat a lot of bags of chicken.
Yep.
Like, you know, like the chicken quarters. It's like what, like $8 a bag or something at Walmart or something like that. I'll air fry like a bag of that. It lasts me like 2 or 3 days. You know what I mean? Just that alone, and then I just switch up kind of the sides with it or whatever like that. But yeah, so I mean, it'd be mostly like, I guess, mostly chicken and stuff like that. But during prep, I eat a lot of fish and ground turkey and ground chicken. I don't know. My body, I try to avoid red meat.
That's fine. You'll still have to do that because it's going to be low fat. So
Yeah,
the ground turkey and tilapia will be fine.
yeah, but
But you're 370 grams of protein a day. You know.
370.
God.
Wow.
Wow, yeah. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think it's one cycle is 370 and like 70 grams of fat. The other one, or maybe 80 grams of fat. The other one's like 60 grams of fat, 440 grams of carbs, and 370 grams of protein.
And how many meals is this?
I had to make it into 6 for myself, so probably around that.
But so what's the math? Like, not necessarily the math, but the order of this, right? So you get up and so this morning, right? You did what, cardio or whatever?
Yeah, I did my mobility and cardio.
Mobility and
stuff.
cardio, right? You worked out or ate, or you ate then
I
worked?
ate after I was done.
So you worked out too, and then you ate. So that's 1,500 right then and there, right?
Yep.
So when will you eat again?
Probably when I get back home, I'll have a chicken and rice meal.
Uh-huh.
And then tonight I'll have some beef, because I won't have any more carbs left, so I'll just do meat and that it's like a little bit fatty.
Yeah.
There's fats and protein at night.
Okay. All right. And that'll clear the whole, what, 30?
Today, right now, I'm still cutting for my competition. So
Yeah.
I'm only at 2,600 calories at the moment.
Oh, okay. Oh, because you guys do have to weigh in for the powerlifting. Okay.
Yeah, I was at weight as of yesterday, so I just got to maintain.
Maintain right now, and maintaining is what, 2,600 for you?
I'll just stick with the same macros, but I'm sure I'll go over by I'll probably be closer to 3,000 most days.
Okay. All right. No, because I wonder the sequence of eating like that. Like,
I mean, you can get super nerdy with it if you want to, but the first objective is getting enough nutrients, right?
so what?
Especially, like,
So what?
for-
If,
I
so
always go-
hypothetically, what if, right? You wake up and do like a 20-minute, 30-minute fasted cardio, right?
Mhm.
Eat, let it sit. You know what I mean? Then work out.
Yeah, you can do that.
Eat again. And then go about your, you know what I mean, the rest of adding up the calorie, like, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, you can do that. That's what I mean. That's got to be sustainable for you.
Yeah.
So the first goal that I have for everyone is how do you get enough protein? Nobody eats enough protein, and there's no such thing as eating too much protein. Like, it's the one thing your body can find a use for, where it doesn't try to store it like it does carbohydrates or fats, right?
Mhm.
So if most of our diet is made up of protein, we know it's getting used, and then you can add in the carbohydrates and fats to fill in everything else later. But most people, if you go down the street to the red zone, it's going to be high fat and high carbohydrates and very little protein.
Yeah.
And what happens from that? Well, that's how you become obese. It's pretty simple. It's not that hard, right? Because your body gets all those carbs, it uses those, and it's like, oh, we have all this extra fat, we're going to hold on to this because it's the most valuable resource, right? So like when we give you a low-fat protocol for macros, well, now the carbs and protein have to be extremely high to make up for that energy that you're not getting from the extra fat that you would normally intake.
But you're burning it though, essentially. Like,
Burning the energy? Oh yeah.
Yeah, through the
100%.
workout.
Yeah, someone like you probably burns 3,200 calories if you were to sleep all day for the most part. That's what I don't think people understand is like when you do nothing, you're burning over 2,000. So you add in your activity. Sorry, I misspoke on that. So probably 3,200 calories with all your activity,
Yeah.
or maybe 3,500 because you're constantly going,
Yeah.
right? Like your body burns probably 2,200 doing nothing, Your brain burns at least 500 throughout the day. Your workouts add in another, I would guess, 1,000, no problem for you, right? So then 3,900 calories, we're maybe at a 300 calorie surplus for you, technically. Like, you can't grow without being in a surplus.
Yeah. No, I get you. I get you. That's interesting to think about, because, yeah, I do burn a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, you've been lifting for how long now?
Well, probably about 8 years now.
8 years? Okay. Yeah, I
probably
mean,
about off and on a little bit, like a lot of,
yeah.
mostly on, but like
It's
there
a
was
good
been
amount
lulls,
of time,
where
and,
I've
like,
been working too much.
you've got a pretty strong amount of muscle mass on you, so no matter what you do, you're gonna have to keep eating, and the longer you go, the more muscle you build up, the more you're gonna have to eat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I seen a couple guys, whatnot like that. So I switched up my. The problem is I've been trying to chase the young guys, like the younger guys in bodybuilding and stuff like that. But I'm realizing that isn't like sustainable, like long term. So now I've tweaked it to where I want to get the masters competition, like, you know what I mean, like just that 40 and up, like right up in there, is what I want to focus on. You know, like. And I saw like a couple of like the amateur Olympia guys and stuff like that, and I really need to bring up the back and the shoulders. Like that's mainly, like, you know what I mean, like where I need to work on. Like you said earlier, like the lat spread, like, you know, being able to open up this whole thing, but also too to have that thickness and size to kind of spread with them.
Yeah, most people can't grow their lats because they don't train them properly.
Yeah.
Pretty common.
And so that's where I'm at right now.
It's actually probably the biggest thing I see in all amateur bodybuilders is they lack lats because they don't train them.
Yeah.
They think they're training them based on bad information from freaks in the past, but they're not.
Yeah, but like I said, I want all that, but I want to keep the conditioning with it though. I want to keep the, you know what I mean, the thinner kind of. I don't know. It's tough to explain. Like, I don't want to be super like dense, like, you know, like. See some of the bodybuilders nowadays, or the men's physique guys nowadays. It's a little too dense for me, but you know what I mean. Like a leaner kind of.
I think if we're lucky, we'll add 10 pounds on the scale and maybe 3 pounds of muscle in 16 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm able to add about 2 pounds in 12 weeks. And the scale moves about 7 pounds.
Okay. So
And that's making eating my job. Because people have super unrealistic expectations. Like, if you gain 5 pounds of muscle mass in a year, you're fucking crushing it.
I'm trying to get 7 to 10 in 5 or 6 months.
We better get lots of PEDs.
Whoa.
Yeah, unfortunately. Like, you've been lifting 8 years.
Yeah, but I haven't been eating like that.
True, but like generally speaking, like after a certain amount of time when you're lifting, you can only put on, say, this has been a long time since I heard this, was like roughly about 5 pounds of muscle within a year, like if you're dedicating and like completely on plan.
I don't think that's what you call for everybody, bro. Because I'm trying to tell you right now.
And I mean, that's like a genetic average.
No,
that's not like...
I'm not saying 5 pounds of weight. I'm saying 5 pounds of lean tissue.
No.
So 1 pound of muscle will hold on to way more water. So you can gain 15 pounds in a year.
But it's not lean tissue. Sound crazy. But you got to hear me out. In March, I weighed in at 184. 4%, 4.4% body fat. Whatever like that, right? I weighed in what was that, like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago I did that. The body, test. I weighed in at 204, so 20 pounds, whatnot like that. And 192 of that, 0.5, was just lean muscle with 12 pounds of fat. And that was just in that, which called from March to November. But at the same time, I wasn't even really training because I was outside helping people. Like, you know what I mean? I was outside at the outdoor gym, like,
well, then
I mean, I was
free genetics, and we're gonna have some.
but like I said, if I lock it in, I think it's possible to like really pack it on. And like I said, also too, I have to be willing to change up some things. Like I was talking to you beforehand about legs, and we were talking about this too, like where I have to really start pushing these things. Like, I mean, I could squat heavy, but I don't do like all like the supplementary stuff like on a regular, like consistently.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't do that. Also too, I'm a avid don't ever bring straps around me guy. Sometimes like you know what I mean? I'll have to use straps to get those extra lat pull downs or to get those extra bent over rows or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? So I realize I have to kind of conform, you know what I mean, to get to that next level. I have to kind of put my own little whatevers to the side to, you know what I mean? Like even asking him like, hey, can you help me with some extra reps? Or can you, you know, when before it's don't touch the weight while I'm lifting. Like, you know what I mean? My mind state was, hey, if you're gonna put it on there, you might as well push it, or,
Right.
you know what I mean? And so, and I think that's gonna be a big, I think those little things like that are gonna pack it on for me, like in the next like 5 to 6 months. You know what I mean? Like,
We will see if you put on 10 pounds in 16 weeks, that'll be awesome.
yeah?
Yeah, I'm just not gonna give you these crazy unrealistic expectations.
Oh, I got it.
That's fine.
Oh, I got
You
it.
can have your own.
I got it.
I can't advertise that because most people can't.
Look,
do
I
that.
tell people, most people, they got that dog in them. I say, that's cute.
Yeah.
Try having a pack of hyenas you gotta control. I mean, you like, you know what I mean? But now, like I said, I'm willing to put in the work, man. Like we were talking about last week, remember you talking about the motivation aspect and, you know what I mean? Like about your, you know what I mean? About just clients in general that you want to work with. Like, you know what I mean? You want them to be motivated. You want them to be hungry because also too, it makes it easier for you to train them, you know what I mean? Because you want to help them get to where they're at. You know, I'm a low, like, it doesn't take a lot to get me going, bro. Like, I come out the house. I won't come out the house unless my motor is like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm ready to go.
Right.
I'm one of those type of guys. So if you want to catch me at a lull, best time is in the house. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'll mosey around all day.
Right.
But as soon as I come out the door, it's like go time on whatever I'm like, you know what I mean, working on and stuff like that. And so, yeah, man. And so I'm excited. You know what I mean? And like I said, I appreciate you guys taking the time. I appreciate, you know what I mean, the plan, the app and stuff like that. Like I said, I got it just reared up to go. And you know what I mean? And I'll share it with you as well.
Yeah.
So you can have it, and he's gonna help me like 3 or 4 times a week for 30 minutes spotting me to get those extra reps and stuff like that to push me also, you know what I mean? Because I don't know, sometimes, like I said, you can have that 225 on the incline or whatever. I mean, you can get that first set, good set of 10 or 12 or something like that. But you know, that second set probably drops down to like 8 or something like that, where you really, I want the 10 again, or I want the, you know what I mean? And so that'll be really be good help for me and stuff like that. So you want to tell them where you work out of and what you know? What I mean?
Yeah, I train out of a private gym in Gun Barrel. It's called Gym Number 5. So it's
Yeah.
just a private training facility. Anyone is usually welcome there. It's just you have to get an invite to either come be a guest or, you know, the membership thing is application only. So that's how that little thing works. But I do most of it online actually. So I think I have about 50% of my clientele is online. So I do about 50% in person, 50% online.
Yeah. What do I got to do to get a shirt, man, or a hoodie or something,
I
man?
just got to order you one.
Cause now I'm on the team, bro. Can I get some merch or something?
Yeah, I'll get you something.
All right then, you know what I mean? Look, word under the Kingpenny hoodie. Look, no, I'm joking. Nah, man, but yeah, I like merch though. What about you? Where can they find you at?
So I'm over at Anytime Fitness here in Longmont. It's off of 11th and Francis. Nice little area right in the neighborhood. Real quiet, nice little place if you just want to come in and work. You know, we don't have a bunch of like the super fancy stuff. Like if you want a swimming pool and a sauna and stuff like that, you're gonna need to go find somewhere else. But if you just want a nice ass weight room where you can lift and do what you got to do and get back out, we're the place for you.
Yeah. And both gyms are 24/7. That's the most beautiful thing, man. I still don't understand why gyms close, but that's something else that we'll discuss at a later date, like especially on holidays.
Because they think they need to be staffed at all times.
Well, no, especially on holidays. I said this is the time that people have off work. How are you gonna close? Like this
Because
is
the staff members don't want to work.
Yeah.
I used to work at Ghul, so I know how it goes.
Oh,
I helped open that one.
look here, we're not going to say that. Look here, man. Hey, look.
I'm like Voldemort in that place. They're not allowed to talk about my name.
Yeah. Mm-mm. But nah, like I said, man, I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you. And like I said, we'll get started. And you promised 10 pounds in what?
I do not promise shit.
Well, nah, I'm trying to tell you, I promise to give max effort, guys. And like I said, man, I appreciate you guys, man. Hey, I'm King Penny, man. Hey, this is the team. Hey, he says no. I say 10 pounds in 6 weeks. You know what I mean?
6 weeks.
I mean, 6 months. My bad. Look, hey, look at 6 weeks. He got real nervous. He was like, "Hey, hold on, take my name off this."
We're gonna have to go find some fucking hardcore D-ball, some Anavar, everything we can get for you. if you want
Nah,
that.
man, we don't need all that. So what we're gonna do is Tuesday. Tuesday we'll weigh in. We'll go get the body fat test Tuesday, and we'll see where we're at. You know what I mean? And then we'll have a baseline as to what we got going on, and you know what I mean, and we'll build from there.
Sounds good.
But we still got that competition coming up on Saturday, so but they'll kind of give us a hard number as to where we are starting from. All right, man. Hey, man, I'm King Penny, man. You got Alex with Ghul Performance. You got Zadok with Anytime Fitness, man. Hey, we're out of here, Longmont, man. You guys take it easy.